So today we are going to make a very easy and simple sandwich bread. Literally so simple, and I have not ruined this yet. Okay, I lied. I ruined it one time, but I'll tell you how in the video. We're going to use an all-purpose flour. I buy a bulk thing of all-purpose flour just because I bake and we make so much. We're going to use 1.5 teaspoons of salt. My yeast actually lives in the door in the freezer. I know people also say to store it in the refrigerator. It will last longer. It'll even last past expiration date. And the biggest thing that I always run into is that I would buy my yeast and then I'd store it in here where it's warm. And I feel like it'd go bad, and so my bread never rose. I haven't really had an issue with my yeast like waking up with putting it in the freezer, no matter what it is, like instant. I happen to use active dry for this one just because it has a long rest. So yeah. And whisk. So after you have put everything in there, just make sure that you whisk it all together. You will use 1.5 cups of lukewarm water. You don't want it boiling, you don't want to kill the yeast, but you don't want it cold, so lukewarm it is. You can also put this same thing, put the ingredients in the stand mixer and use a dough hook. And you want this to be a sticky ball, so it should not be smooth, but it shouldn't be too hard. It should still be like supple to move, but obviously still stick. It's still sticking to it. What we're going to do next is cover this with a damp towel for 2 hours. So a tip when proofing your dough or bread, oven with the light on is a great little cozy place because it is. And we will come back in 2 hours to see what this bread looks like. So it's been almost 2 hours, and what you want to do is prepare your bread pan. I use 9x5. I'm sure you can use a glass one, a ceramic one. The one thing that you cannot skip though is to butter the pan and to oil the loaf. That's what's going to give you that nice and like crispy but like thin edge. I have skipped this step before, and it doesn't come out right. This is what makes your loaf just like come right out. It's just, don't skip the step. Don't do it. Don't skip the step. So this is what our dough looks like, doubled in size. And let's get it ready for the loaf pan. The easiest way to remove this from the edge is literally just to use a fork. And about a tablespoon of oil to coat. Now place the dough for its second rise in your buttered loaf pan. And I'm just using my hands, nothing special. I'm just bringing it to the sides of my loaf pan. Now I'm going to put this back in the oven for about 1 hour until it gets to the very top of my 9x5 pan. Preheat your oven to 425 degrees and let it bake between 30 to 40 minutes depending on what your climate is, whatever, where you live. Anyways, mine, where I'm at, it's about 40 minutes, like 38, you know. I'm usually looking at it around like a 35-minute point. So we shall see. Okay, so it has been almost 40 minutes and it's starting to brown on the top to a point where I like. And so I'm gonna take it out. It's like 3 minutes. I'm gonna take it out. So for this next part, do not touch it for 30 minutes. Set your timer. Now don't touch it. Don't poke it. Don't even look at it wrong. Just let it sit there and let it rest. We all need to rest to become our best. Wow. All right, but for bread, first of all, you have to hear the crust, okay? It's beautiful. Yes. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. If you make this bread, tag me on TikTok or Instagram at Do It Yourself Kitchen. Tell me what you're gonna use this for. A good sandwich. I cannot wait until the springtime for a good radish, like teacup sandwich. That nummy. They're so good.